Hello and welcome to section 2 of Looking After Your Voice during show week. This is about preventions and problems and finding solutions as well to vocal problems. So the number one is phlegm and too much mucus. This is quite a common one. The first thing you need to be aware of is that if you are getting lots of phlegm and mucus, it's usually because you are dehydrated and you're not drinking enough water. So first things first, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. If you do need to clear phlegm, the best thing is hot lemon, not honey. Honey is more for soothing, not for clearing mucus, because of how dense it is. So the lemon helps cut through phlegm. So hot lemon, not a lemon lemsip, and I'll explain later why not. Hot lemon is the best thing to help cut through that. Sirening can help. If you have mucus it's quite, in quite a tricky place, you can use a siren to help kind of get through it and find the contact and get those notes back. Steaming is to do with the hydration thing. Steaming often can help get rid of the mucus or bring the mucus up so that you can either spit it out or swallow it, depending on what you want to do. And then finally there's an exercise. So there's the Croak exercise that you can do, and this is where you go to the very bottom of your siren and you go into a croak that makes a vocal fold shake. And you hold and you do that, make sure that you fully retract and then swallow. Yeah, and you may have to do that quite a few times and it will go like this. Sing. Hardly any effort on that. Sing. And swallow. Yeah. Next thing is chocolate and dairy products. And there's a bit of myth around this. So with chocolate and dairy, they will not stop you singing. That's the main thing. You can eat a bar of chocolate and still go on and do a show. What you might find is that it kind of clags in the throat and that it feels restrictive. Okay, and it is about the feeling. You should know that the vocal folds are in your larynx, and your larynx is at the top of your air pipe, and it's controlling the flow of air into your lungs. And we all know, or we've probably all choked before, and we know that choking is when food and drink goes down the wrong way, and it should go down the other way, obviously. So food and drink will never touch your vocal folds. So I once had someone say to me, "Oh, I can't have chocolate because it will coat my vocal folds." And I said, well, I really hope that chocolate isn't coating your vocal folds, because if it were, you wouldn't be very alive right now. Yeah, so, it depends on the person as well. So I don't tend to like to eat chocolate before I sing because it just feels restrictive. But it doesn't affect my singing. It won't affect your singing ability. So alcohol and caffeine. When you are drinking during the day or before the show and the interval afterwards, there is nothing wrong with drinking alcohol or tea or coffee. Just be aware that they will dehydrate you, and that you need to replenish that with water. So if you're having lots of coffee during the day, it's absolutely fine. Just make sure you're drinking lots of water with it. And the same for tea, and especially for alcohol. If you are going to the pub after a performance in the evening, make sure that before you go to bed, you steam. And you also replenish with plenty of water. Yeah. So, it's not a case of you shouldn't. Just be aware of what is happening when you do and how to combat that. Another thing to mention regards alcohol is that usually when we are consuming alcohol, we're usually in a pub. And pubs can normally have a loud environment. You're going to have to be sat next to a speaker that's blaring out music. And so be careful that you are not overworking your voice and possibly even straining your voice to be heard after you've just done a show and then drinking alcohol, which is dehydrating you. Be careful that you are not putting the extra workload onto your voice or potentially even straining. and then get home and wake up the next day and find that you are really vocally tired or you're in pain. Loss of voice. Yeah, so after your pub outing, you might find that you've lost your voice. So the first thing you do when you lose your voice is you think about, can I rest it? That's the first thing you think about is, do I have time to rest and can I have vocal rest? Okay, because ultimately that is what you need. Yeah, no miraculous drug or exercise is going to bring your voice back. Your voice, your vocal folds are muscular, and like with any muscle, if you injure them, they need to rest. There are certain things you can do to help the recovery of your voice. The first thing to mention is sirening. Sirening is really useful to find out which part of your voice you have lost. You might find that you've lost the very top part of your voice, you might find that you've lost a bit in the middle, you might find that you've lost various bits, or you've got a bit more on the bottom. So if you have a cold, you might find that you've got a lovely bass range or a alto range. Yeah, so the siren is a really nice kind of health check to show what you do and don't have, and the siren could potentially, even in some instances, help regain a little bit more contact in those areas that you've lost. Steaming, yep. Hydration, make sure that your voice is hydrated. Bowl or a steamer, breathe in the steam for 10 minutes. You can do that as much as you want. Okay. If you do not have the opportunity to do vocal rest, make sure that you're being efficient, you're speaking clearly, you're not whispering, or try not to whisper, and try not to speak with a breathy tone. And if you can, bring down the volume of your voice. Okay? So I'm still trying to speak in a clear tone, but I'm reducing the volume of what I'm speaking, so I'm still being efficient, but I'm not having to use extra effort to make my voice louder. Make sure that you're doing lots of retraction and that you're not constriction. And to retract, that can be to do with, you can do that while you're steaming, but also with retraction you can do silent laughter to make sure you're releasing the breath and not holding it, or Mary King's favourite exercise, which is the happy dog. Again, don't hold on to the breath, let the breath release. Yeah. So, the myths about recovering and loss of voice. No drug or medicine is going to make you sing. If you lost your voice, you have lost your voice and you have to deal with it. Okay? There is nothing that will miraculously make you sing from losing your voice. It's to do with muscle fatigue or potentially strain or something worse, and if it is worse, you need to go see an ENT or a voice specialist to ensure that you haven't done any permanent damage. But the biggest thing really about this is that do not take vocal zones. It's really important. The latest research of vocal zones shows that actually it changes the chemical makeup of the outer layer of your vocal fold. It changes it, and that is not what you want. You do not want to change or do it so much that you are then damaging the outer layer of your vocal fold. That is the cushioning. When they make contact, it is the cushioning that helps protect your vocal fold. They do seem to work, but it's because they are changing the chemical makeup of your vocal fold, that outer layer, and you don't want to do that. So do not touch vocal zones. Yeah? You also don't want to touch cough medicine or paracetamol or anything that has menthol in it. Okay? Menthol numbs, and it's used to basically relieve pain. And if you lost your voice and there's pain, that means that you've strained or potentially done some more severe damage, but menthol is not going to help you make the vocal folds make contact. It's not. Cough sweets, again, avoid if you've lost your voice. If you're about to sing, I should mention. So if you have lost your voice and you've got a day off, absolutely. Yeah, you need to stop coughing, for example. If that's the reason why you lost your voice from coughing, yes, take the cough medicine and the cough sweets. But none of this stuff is going to make you sing. It's not going to make you sing better. It's not going to revive your voice. Sometimes, depending on what condition your voice is in, you may have to apply more effort. Yeah, if you're fatigued, you might have to rely on more anchoring or more engagement to make the vocal folds close cleanly, so you've got a clear tone, and to create the sound that you want. You may have to work harder. Yes, make sure it is effective engagement and not air pressure. Yep, you've got to really think about efficiency. If you need to go on stage and you are losing your voice, you have got to be efficient. Number 6 is coughing. Ultimately, you need not to be coughing because of how laboursome it is on the vocal folds, and you're very likely to lose your voice if you are coughing. If you're not working or have a day off, or if it's in the morning and not doing a show to the evening, hit the cough medicine, hit the cough sweets. You know, yeah, it's whatever you need to ensure that you need to try and stop the cough. If you are working and you're using your voice, then you should not be using that, because the medicines and the cough sweets often contain menthol, and menthol aims to relieve pain, and by doing that, they numb. And so if you think about trying to numb your vocal folds and sing, one, you're going to work harder and potentially strain, and secondly, you're not going to feel if you are straining or not. You're going to be not very aware of what is going on. The best thing to do is glucose sweets. Yeah, Fox's Glacier fruits are my personal favourite. Wine gums are also good. They're things that you can suck that will stop you coughing and that will keep your throat feeling good. Number 7 is colds. If you feel a cold coming on, you should basically attack it in the first instance. And Vicks First Defence is brilliant for this. It's a little nasal spray, 2 squirts in your nose will hopefully help keep it at bay and keep it clear. Lemsips are the other good thing, but not before a show because of the menthol in them and the paracetamol. Lemsips are great, again in the morning or during the day, but not just before a show. And then the final thing is, if you get really bad acid reflux, hit the Gaviscon. Yeah, don't ignore it. If you are getting acid reflux, you need to make sure that you are attending to it, because it can have quite a big effect on your voice. So make sure you get Gaviscon for that.